All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Shibuya Pro-Am here, Russell County, Alabama. Senior known pro, Darren Christenberry. There's our leaderboard. Run it down for us.
Yeah, this ought to be a really good race. We got Tim Gillingham, no stranger to these shoot-offs, at a 4:36 leading. Mike Hulburt Sr.'s in second, just 2 points behind him with a 4:34. Anthony Smith at a 4:29. Shane Gillespie at 4:28. And then Roy Richards at a 4:28. So 8 points from first to fifth. This should be a really good race.
All right, Darren, we want to get to the action right away, so we're going to bring out our archers. In fifth place with a score of 428 and 17 bonus rings, from Romance, Arkansas, shooting for Matthews, Roy Richards. And our fourth place qualifier with a score of 428 and 18 bonus rings, from Corinth, Kentucky, shooting for Elite, Shane Gillespie. Our number three qualifier with a score of 429 and 21 bonus rings, from Florence, Alabama, shooting for Darton, Anthony Smith. And our second place qualifier with a score of 434 and 17 bonus rings, shooting for Elite, Mike Hulburt Sr. And our number one qualifier with a score of 436 and 21 bonus rings, from Provo, Utah, shooting for Matthews, Tim Gillingham. All right, Darren, so senior known pro, explain what that means.
That means these guys get to use that little battery box that you can see right there in Tim's hand. That's a laser rangefinder. They're going to know the distance to every one of these targets. They're going to set their sight to within 1/10 of a yard, and they're going to go blasting at these bonus rings. This should be a really good show.
All right, so now, Darren, that we have finished our unknown class, we're going to move targets before the rest of the shootdown, but we can run through the distances of these targets here now.
Yes, sir. The javelina that we talked about being so long earlier, the gas bowstrings javelina is at 48 yards. The Schwacker Ram is at 37 yards. The HHA bedded buck is at 28. The Stan Black Boar is at 42, and the Bow Doodle Hyena is 34 yards. Good mixture of yardages out there for these guys. We will see some bonus rings shot at. We will see some bonus rings hit. There's a good look at Tim. The most passionate archer on the planet right there.
Tim Gillingham shot his best round ever yesterday at 28 up in senior known pro, he said.
I can promise you he will not be happy with that.
He was here shooting until dark last night, and I was like, Tim, that's your best round ever. And he said, scoring well and shooting well are different things. And he said, I wasn't shooting well.
I think this could be some of that wind we're talking about. He hit left on that, and he's confused by it. So an 8 for Tim puts him at 444. Yeah, if Mike Hulburt shoots a 10 here, they're already tied after one. So we're going to see some moving and some shaking.
Tim and Tony have the advantage on bonus rings right now.
1,000% a 10 ring right there. Yep, but they're tied now. 444 for Mike and 444 for Tim. I believe Anthony Smith went at this 14 ring here right off the bat, which I don't blame him. It's the closest target, and they gave him the distance. He did the right play. He just hit just a bit under it, though.
For Anthony, 437.
437.
28 yards there is the HHA bedded buck.
Mm-hmm. Just low. I think everybody in this class will shoot at that 14 right there.
Got to.
I think you have to. Hard to see on our screen, but I believe that's a 10. No, it's 12.
12.
Very good. 440 for Shane.
Shane Gillespie.
Behind our leader.
Making a move.
And he trails by 2 bonus points.
Bumped him up to a podium
Next up,
spot
Roy
already.
Richards.
See if he can maintain it. And an 8.
For Roy. Gentlemen, let's
8
see
for
our next
Roy,
target.
436.
So Tim and Mike are now tied for score at 444. Shane is now in third at 440. Anthony's at 437, and Roy is at 4.
It's crazy how fast it can change, and it goes fast while you're out there. These 5 targets just clip right away.
Super fast.
Mistakes are hard to overcome, and bonus rings they serve you well. Good look at Roy Richards there. There's Mr. Anthony Smith.
Okay, Roy, you're going to have to let me know when you're ready.
Anthony's a man of few words.
Yeah.
Good guy, but
You
he
good?
doesn't say much.
He's flipping his rangefinder over there upside down, using it as a magnifying glass to make sure he's setting his sight correct.
Yes, correctly. Need that magnifier.
Yeah, if you're over 50 years old and you're shooting a bow out there, you are using some sort of glasses. And if you're not, you're lucky.
Or you've had surgery like Tim.
Yes.
I got a full breakdown of how bionic Tim's eye is yesterday. He told me all about it.
Nice steady hold there for Anthony. There's Roy. Oh, just under that javelina for an 8, I believe. He didn't miss that ring by 3/8 of an inch, and he's taking an 8. There's a good look at him.
All right, first up, Roy Richards, currently at 436.
Boom, nice strong shot. Just shy of that
Just
12.
under. 48 yards.
Roy on
Yep,
Javelina.
8 points.
That small target out there.
444 now for him.
Next up, our co-leader, and actually first because of bonus.
Shooting back-to-back 8s in a known class, things slip away pretty fast. He's going to have to hit some rings to make a move here.
Another 8 for
Tim
Tim.
Jim is
He's had
shaking his
2
head.
8s. Ugh.
Hit left again. He is not sure what's going on there.
Today is just off that much.
452 now for Tim.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, after
All right, Mike
leading the
Hulburt.
class yesterday, he
Jumped into the lead
said,
on
I bet I
score.
shot 300 arrows
However,
yesterday.
he takes
Just
an 8,
trying to fix
leaves
stuff.
that on the
What I
deck.
like that he said was,
Still tied at
a pro
432.
doesn't practice to be good. A pro practices until you can't do it wrong.
There you go.
I like that.
Mike shot at that 14 on that bed of buck and took an 8 as well.
All right.
Yeah, we see Mike Hulburt Sr. That's because Mike Hulburt Jr.
10,
also
that's
is a
the
competitor
number 1.
out here at the
Standing next
ASA.
to him.
Shoots in the known pro class. Has been on here, helping Dad there, maybe saying,
Thank you, Tony. It was getting kind of
Dad,
desperate
hit a
for
couple of
Iowa.
them bonus rings.
Yeah.
And for Shane Gillespie, currently at 440.
So
At 10
450 for
moves to the
Shane. Shane is
450.
currently,
Now within
by
2
keeping his
points
arrows
for
in the big rings,
And he's sitting with 19
is only 2 points out of the
Yeah.
lead. He shot a 12 on that first one. He shot a 10 on that one, where Tim shot back-to-back 8s, and Mike shot a 10 and an 8. So things have tightened up here.
And now you know Shane better than me, but he hasn't been in a shoot down in the past 8 years that I've been here.
It's been a little while, yeah. Yeah, it's been a little while.
Good for him.
We've been doing this stuff a long time, PJ.
Man,
A long time.
back when they had rocks for points and wooden.
When you had to make your own points. Yeah. There you can see Anthony using that rangefinder. When you flip that backwards, it actually works like a magnifying glass. So he's using it to make sure he's checking the needle on his sight tape, that he has this sight set to the exact yardage he wants.
Yeah, there you go. You see
He's
him.
giving it a couple clicks on the left and right as well too.
That scope there has a lens in it with some power magnification. Oh, here's
Yeah.
my favorite
This
shot
is
here.
awesome. Split screen. Tim on your left, Mike Hulburt Sr. on the right. You'll be able to see the impact as soon as they let this thing go. Tim will be shooting at the 14. That wind's picking up. It's blowing right to left. No, he did
Oh.
not. I'm surprised at that.
And he's left. He might have caught the left side of the upper, but Mike Hulburt, he was in the just at the 10 line.
It's hard to tell. That's a good looking arrow.
Yeah. That was Roy's.
Tim's a little bit perplexed by this left he's
Yeah.
getting right now.
Something.
There's a good look at Shane Gillespie.
Okay, first up, 10 on the board. Shane Gillespie.
Shane Gillespie, that's on the
Javelina.
Javelina.
10 for Shane puts him at 460.
He is actually not a member of the pig family, Darren Christenberry.
Really?
Someone told me that. I think it's true.
It's a little pig if you ask me.
It sure looks like one. Folks at home, you can Google that.
12 for Roy, 456.
Keep him solid within 10 points of our leaders going into the fourth arrow.
Well, I certainly wouldn't call it anything but pork.
Agreed. It sure looks like a little pig.
Call for the upper 12.
They're looking close at that.
Yeah.
He did get close to it, but I think it might be just left.
There is
No, he got it.
He got it.
Nice. He'll be happier. 464 now for Tim.
So the new way to call for an upper 12 is a little red flag on these T signs in front of them that they set up. And if you can't see
Oh, yeah. So, Darren, for folks who are regular viewers of the Pro Pressure Point shoot-downs here, we have a new system for calling the upper 12, and there's a sign at the shooter's feet where they can flip up a red flag. So it's easier than the cone system we used to use.
Gotcha.
Maybe we'll get a shot of it here.
10 for
our
Mike
camera
Hulburt.
guys.
Yeah, 10 for Mike Hulburt there, 462.
Now for Anthony Smith.
Ooh, if he called upper, that's pretty close. Scott Parrott taking a good look at it. They're zooming in. Man, that is close.
Oh. I think
That's
that might
really
be
close.
just out. I think he's going to call it a 10. Oh,
12
gave it to
points.
him.
Thank
459.
God Ken's
So that's a good
glasses
one,
are
Darren, we should talk about. These targets have pliable foam. They're
Yeah.
made of foam.
Yeah.
So the line is not static.
Yes.
It can move.
Yeah, and the deeper the arrow goes into the target,
within 10 points, 8 points of our leaders at 456.
There's the, before we talk about that, there's the little flag to call upper.
gotcha. I see that now. But yeah, the deeper the arrow goes into that target, the more it pulls on that foam.
Yeah.
And it will pull those lines, but it still has to touch. The arrow has to touch the line. It can't just pull it and be like, oh, it distorted the line, he gets the higher value. That's not the case. It has to touch to get the higher value.
And it looks, what I will say, folks at home, it looks different on camera. Ken and Scott are right there looking at it from multiple angles. We have one with our camera, so.
Yeah, if you could only have one angle, even out on the range today, we had an arrow call today where we looked at it from the left side. I thought it was out. Looked at it from the right side, and I was like, there's no way that arrow can be called out. So as a group, we all called it in. So there are different looks from different angles to these arrows are questionable, obviously.
Scott said if he looks from 4 angles and it's out from 3 but in from 1, it's in.
Good look at Anthony. Holding nice and steady. 10 points on that long joker's good.
Take it. Oh, Roy didn't like that shot. Left, Darren. Everything.
Nobody's hit that 14 yet, and they know the distance. That's just a little tribute to the guys that are judging the distance. When they're guessing how far it is and can hit it, that's a skill. It's a good skill to have.
10 for Anthony, moves to the 469.
10 for Anthony.
Next up, Shane Gillespie.
See if Shane can continue to move up the ladder.
Tim's talking to Kyle Douglas there. We'll see him later in the known pro shoot-down. He's our leader. They'll probably swap. Tim will be the umbrella man. Kyle will be shooting.
10 for Shane Gillespie.
10 for Shane moves him to 470, so he's not backing up any. He's holding strong.
All right, next up, Roy Richards.
Good look at Shane there. Roy just low right of that 14. I know that's what he was shooting at. For an 8, puts him at a 464, if my math is correct.
He's got his magnifiers on the front of his hat there. That's his version of turning the rangefinder around.
Left again for Tim.
10 for Tim Gillingham.
Yeah.
474.
A little bit of room for Mike to move back in.
I don't know how he could aim his bow super confident at a 14 ring right now and think he's going to hit it.
Right.
That's what he's worried about. He's trying to build his confidence while he's out there. And right now he's like, where's this thing going to hit? Mike Hulburt shoots a 12.
Yeah. Tim talked yesterday about this being a momentum game.
Yes.
That when you hit a couple, boy, that helps you go into the next one and the next one.
Yeah.
But if you start missing, the momentum goes the other way.
I think you start shooting. I do personally. I start shooting defensively. If I make a couple of mistakes, I like, okay, you got to keep them in the big ring. Well, then that keeps you from shooting at the little ring so aggressively. So you almost you got to walk a fine line while you're out there. Even with the rangefinder, if you miss a few, you're like, man, I need to get more aggressive. But if I'm not hitting the rings, I can't afford to make the mistakes.
Yeah, so Mike Hulburt there, he may be catching that momentum on the upswing.
Yep.
He's hit a couple.
He's now tied, Tim. They're tied.
Yep.
One more arrow to go in regulation, and again, anybody within 10 points of the leader will go to the last chance opportunity, last chance arrow.
There was nobody in this class who I think the closest person was 10 points behind Tim yesterday.
Wow.
So they reeled him in, and now Mike Hulburt Sr. tied.
Two very important arrows coming up for all these guys, especially Tim and Mike, because they're 4 points ahead of Shane right now. Good look at Anthony's nice steady hold. I believe he'll take a 10 on that big ram. There's a good look at Mike Hulburt Sr., Indiana boy.
All right, here we go.
Boom.
Mike Hulburt currently tied at 474.
I'm glad you mentioned that. 'Cause he left his whereabouts blank on his shooter card, so I didn't know where he was
10
from.
points. He is from Indiana, 484. Up around Fort Wayne, Uniondale, I believe it is.
Came in 5 points behind. That's a 10 also.
479 for Anthony Smith.
Shane Gillespie in the bedded buck.
Let's see if Shane shoots at that 14. What did he do?
10 for Shane.
Okay, he didn't go after it. Interesting.
All right.
Interesting. Maybe that wind's more of a factor out there than I can feel.
Yeah, it's
All right, Roy.
480 for Shane.
Give us a good number.
10 points isn't bad. Roy's pretty close to that 10 line, isn't
I
he?
think he might have gotten that shooting a 26 diameter arrow. Yep,
10.
got it.
474.
All right,
So what
that's
Mr.
4
Timmy
kids in a
do?
row. So Mr. Gillingham.
He's shooting a 34-yard
He
bow doodle hyena.
He looks decently happy,
Yeah,
so
he
maybe
does.
a 12.
He's smiling. There it is.
Ah.
Okay.
486. So now he takes a 2-point lead over Mr. Mike Hulburt into the final arrow.
Okay.
Mike Hulburt at 484 is in second. 480 Shane Gillespie. 479 Anthony Smith. And let's give Roy
Right,
Richards
so
and the rest
we're
of the
going
band a round of
to
applause for Gracie.
potentially bring out another target. This is our last chance archery, last chance arrow. And I see Ken McElreath. I believe he's grabbing that deer. We won't need to judge, so yep, there he goes.
Set her out there. Yeah, so Roy Richards is going to finish in 5th. Anthony Smith is going to finish in 4th. And we're going to have 3 guys taking one last shot at this deer. Shane is going to shoot first. He's at a 480. Mike's going to shoot second at a 484. And Tim's going to have the last opportunity to win this thing.
So, and Darren, he didn't do him any favors. He put this out there beyond the javelina, and I have a feeling Scott's going to move the shooting line. But, again, this is a 50-yard max class.
If you're going to win this one, you're going to earn it right here.
Yeah.
Shane's got nothing to lose.
Nothing.
0 to lose. 480. Worst he can finish is 3rd place. He's 6 points out of the lead. Shooting a 10 does you nothing. He has to shoot a 14 just to catch Mike. Then if Mike shoots a 10, Shane would take second because he has more bonus rings. So I think it's 14 or nothing right here for Shane.
And I was mistaken. It looks like it may be a little bit in front of the javelina, so we're shooting 40-plus yards. Yeah, Scott did move him up a little bit.
They got an arrow hole to aim at, too, right there.
Yep. There's our scoring rings for folks checking in. The biggest ring you see is worth 8 points. That one with the one arrow hole in it that's off to the right, that's our 14 ring. And then inside, it gets a little confusing. You're going to see a very dark black line, and that is actually not a scoring ring. That's a replaceable section of the target. It's in the 8 ring, so you hit that, it's 8 points. But then the circle that looked kind of like a coffee can, that's our 10 points, and then our 12's inside of that.
Target set. You got the
We showed that red flag a little while ago. When those guys raise that red flag up, they're calling the upper 12. That little ring, the stoplight row of rings, the highest one is the one they're shooting at, and the lower one is no longer in play at that point. It just becomes a 10. So might be a little confusing if you're new to this, but if you're used to watching ASA archery, you know exactly what we're talking about.
And we should mention, Darren, that 14 is only in play in ASA out here on the finals field.
Yeah, in qualification, 12 is the best you can do.
He wants the upper 12.
He moved it. Okay, so we got away from the sign, so he had to use the cone.
So Anthony is shooting, is that right? 9. So, yeah, he would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 7 points. I'm sorry. We don't have that decided yet. See how bad I am at math?
I'm right there with you.
Rory Richards finishes in 5th. We're going to have 4 guys shoot here.
Oh, he got it.
Smoked it.
Got it.
Anthony Smith.
Yeah.
93 now? 493, if I'm not mistaken.
Puts the pressure on Shane.
Shane has to hit it now.
14.
Shane has to hit it now.
Has to hit it, that's it.
Yep. A 10 gives him a 490. A 12 gives him a 492.
Not good enough.
14 gives him a 494.
Shane Gillespie, currently at 480.
And again, as we mentioned earlier, the money is in 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
Yes.
So 4th place, not as good a position. You still get some.
Still get a check, but
yeah.
The manufacturer's contingency doesn't qualify past 3rd place.
We'll start your 1 minute now.
2 arrow holes to aim at now. And he knows the distance. A little bit of wind picking up there.
Oh, he got it.
Wow. 494.
Shane Gillespie.
So good.
14.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
So
all right.
good.
Okay.
All right, Mike.
Okay.
Guess what you have to do?
So that takes him to a 494.
Come in
Yep.
third,
Mike can go for a 12.
because you'll be at 494 with
If he
18
shoots a
bonus
10,
rings, and Shane
it
will
does
be
him
at
no good
494
because he gets beat
Right.
on bonus rings.
Yeah, so the rings that you see there on the right side, Shane Gillespie has 20, which means if Mike shoots the 12 as shoots a 10, he won't have as many bonus
No.
rings. He'll finish behind Shane.
In 3rd place.
Yep. So
This is a matter of, do I secure a good check and try to take 2nd, or do I shoot the 14 and try to force Tim to shoot a 14 to win?
He's now got 3 holes in that 14 ring.
Tim would have to shoot a 12, and then they would tie if he hits a 14. There's a lot going on this arrow right here. 14 would be amazing. 12 would help your cause.
10.
10.
Just missed it.
494.
He's looking for that 12.
All right.
So he gets
He's
3rd.
guaranteed 3rd.
Guaranteed 3rd.
Depending on what Tim does here.
Bonus rings, and is now in 3rd place behind Shane Gillespie. Mr. Gillingham needs a
8 to win
shoot an 8 to still win.
for Tim.
And
But knowing Tim, he'll shoot
Puts him at a 494 with the most bonus rings. So
normally you'd think, oh, piece of cake, but
whenever you're ready.
the way he's been shaking his head,
yeah,
it's not a gimme.
This is a pretty far shot. I don't know the distance, but that's a big ring for a guy of Tim's caliber that knows the distance. If he was judging it, I wouldn't say it's a guarantee. There's nothing guaranteed. That's why we're shooting them. But He should be able to seal this right here.
Yeah.
No problem.
Center 10.
No
Perfect.
problem for Mr. Tim.
Secures the win.
496. He had to work for it,
He
though.
did.
He had to work for it.
In second place is Shane Gillespie. Third.
And we're going to hear all about it here in a second. When Jennifer talks to him, he's going to tell you how much he struggled this weekend.
Yeah.
But we're going to say, congratulations, Tim. You did good.
He did do good.
Here comes Jennifer Brooks. Talk to our winner.
After the interview.
Hey, Tim. Hi. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Start off a little rough,
That was brutal.
but you
For some
picked it up.
yeah, for some reason I was heading way left, and I think I gave it a total of 12 clicks somewhere in there.
12.
Yeah,
How'd you pick that number?
4, 4, and 4.
Sounds right. Great shooting.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
All right, congratulations, Tim Gillingham, on winning the Shibuya Pro-Am here. Folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back here at Uchi Creek Campground with our Women's Known Pro next.